Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my YouTube channel and my first official YouTube video or Booktube video. I thought it made the most sense just because this was my first one to do the newbie to Booktube tag. So I went down the YouTube rabbit hole as you do on YouTube and found a bunch of these other tags on dozens and dozens and hundreds of videos and picked the ones that I thought were the most interesting. And then I looked at a lot of the questions that are constantly asked in a lot of the book groups that I'm a part of and thought this would be kind of a fun way to getting to know me. So here we go. So the first few questions were, where are you joining us from? How old are you? And what do you do? I live in Alberta, Canada, but I've lived all over Canada. So Canada is probably just the easiest way to explain me. But I'm originally from Ontario, which is the home of Toronto. I am 25 years old and I'm a professional librarian. So I have an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree in librarianship. One of the really cool questions that is very simple, but I really enjoy hearing is why did you join YouTube and what can you contribute? There are so many YouTube channels and everyone has something different to offer and contribute. So my kind of spiel in this situation is I am a librarian. I know that I really personally wanted to make the channel just because for a couple of reasons for myself. One, I feel like putting things on video makes it harder for me to talk myself out of things or convince myself or like fake forget because I do that. I pretend like I inner monologue of like, oh no, you didn't actually say that, you just thought about saying it. I also really wanted to do it for, personal reasons. I am focusing right now at this point, especially it's going to be definitely my New Year's goal is, weight loss and eating healthier and getting into better dieting routines. So I feel like this is going to give me a visual representation and something, to grasp onto and see if I've progressed or gone backward. So the question was, what is the story behind your channel name? So obviously you can see it's Sassenach the Book Wizard, or it is as of this point. That was one that just literally flew off my fingers as I think I was making my Instagram account. Sassenach becomes the term of endearment in the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon that the main male character ends up having for the main female character. And then Book Wizard is, there are shirts and stuff like tote bags and stuff that say something like librarian because Book Wizard isn't technically a job title or something. And I remember seeing that and being like, that is me. That is me in a shirt form. That and a little Sebastian Parks and Recreation shirt. So I saw that and I was like, that just makes sense of mashing them together. The next question that I found is what types of books do you read and what types of books do you want to talk about? I'm actually someone that doesn't really like to limit myself. If a book sounds interesting to me, I'm gonna give it a shot, with the only exception being horror. I do not like horror. I hate Halloween. I unfortunately lived in a time when they decided that they wanted to make a remake of it. So I've been dodging any human interaction basically, unless it's extremely necessary. Basically, since they released the It trailer, I'm terrified of clowns. I have full-on blackout and panic attack while at work when I used to work at Subway in a lunch line, just dropped to the floor because I saw a clown because one of the doctors dressed up. I haven't even made myself watch Stranger Things because the trailer kind of scared me. I like fantasy a lot, but I also like historical fiction and I love specific genres within all that kind of stuff. So it really, really just depends on the book. I mean, if there's really any sort of time travel or witches or just fairy tale retellings in general, I'm all for it. But contemporaries, I tend to really struggle with them. Part of my reasoning is that I find the world so incredibly depressing some days. I don't want to have to read a book about assaults and that kind of stuff. I know it's wrong. I'm aware of the culture. I read Female of the Species and absolutely loved it. And then I read something Everything by Nicola Yoon, which I read it and could tell what was going to happen from the second page. And it was basically just a cheesy romance. And I was like, well, cool book. I read it so I could watch the movie, but other than that, and then I read a kind of an almost same thing one called The One Memory of Flora Banks, but it has kind of the same reasoning for what happened. But I mean it just spoke to me so much more, and maybe it was just because it took place in a setting all I could think of when I was reading and watching everything was how did you get this credit card? How are you going to pay back this trip to Hawaii? And that wasn't something that popped into my head with The One Memory of Flora Banks. I mean, I really want to read and talk about every book. Who is your favorite author? I really enjoy J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter will forever be a part of my childhood. I'm old enough that I can remember the first book coming out very vaguely. And you know, I love ACOTAR, you know, like it's total trash for me. I'm all there for it. But I feel like that's kind of too easy of an answer. And I actually really get excited when I discover like an unknown author and you can just tell like, oh, this person's going to do so well. They're going to write forever and they're going to become the Stephen King or the J.K. Rowling and the Sarah J. Maas. And I love finding them before anyone else does. So you get to be that person that, you know, like when there's a song all of a sudden in the car that's like, oh, and they're like, oh my God, this is my jam. You get to be that person who's like, oh, actually, like this is their 7th album. I've listened to like all of their albums, you know, before it was popular. I beat you to it. I don't know why. I think I'm just competitive, but I really do enjoy that. So I have 2 people that I really want to like give a shout out to because I feel like they don't get enough acknowledgement for like the quality writing that they put out. So the first one is Ryan Grodin, probably the best known for the really like her new release that just came out, Invictus. The second author that I want to give a big promo to is Elise Kova. You can join her Facebook street team. She has a group called like the Elise Kova Street Team. She's got Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So definitely follow her. Both of these authors are just like instant buy for me now at this point. On to the next question that I've seen was, you know, what sort of formats do you prefer to read in? I generally don't really care all that much between paperback and hardcover. I just want them to be consistent if I'm going to own the series. In comparison of, you know, ebooks and the audiobooks, I have tried to read ebooks. I get distracted on devices. They hurt my eyes. And then I've had people like, oh, if you get distracted, just use a Kindle. But then I'm like, but I also like audiobooks. So then I'm just going to have to like have 2 devices, which didn't make any sense to me. And I mean, physical books, you know, the battery's never going to die in it. The copyright's never going to, you know, expire on them. You know, but you know, the book company can go out of business and you're not going to lose the book or like have to start going through some other vendor or something like that. I do really enjoy audiobooks though. They can give, especially full cast ones, they give it like such a different feel. Again, like you can read the text, you can read the images, and then you can listen to the audiobook and come away with something totally different. Something like the Illuminate files that you can see there, like their audiobooks for that series, that and Gemini, are like, they're insanely good. It's a full radio show. There's a full cast. Or even like nonfictions, especially something like, you know, Yes Please by Amy Poehler. You can listen to the audiobook and Amy Poehler's telling it to you. Like Anna Kendrick, Lauren Graham, all these people. And especially like the books with comedy and sarcasm, it comes across so differently when you have someone saying it the way that the author intended versus how you think or your brain interprets it. So the next questions that I thought of were, do you buy or borrow? So I do both. I will say this, Alberta has fantastic interlibrary loan services. You can basically borrow a book from any library in the province and get it sent to your library free with your library card. So the next 2 questions that I thought were good ones were, what was a book or a series that you tried to like and you read because of the hype, but you just never ended up enjoying it? And what series stand out as ones that got you into reading? The one that I really tried, and I'm kind of bummed that I don't get it, like, it's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Nothing happened. And the books that kind of got me into reading, so there are 2 that really stand out, and they were at different points in my life, which I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm like 25 years old. Different points in my life. So the first one is Coraline. This is the first book I remember specifically getting an emotional investment in a specific title. And then the other one that gives me so much feels is The Hunger Games. I apologize for like, the foil editions are so pretty, but it's so impractical, I realized. So the next question up was, what is your favorite book? So my favorite standalone is The Book Thief. This book like tore me apart inside. I remember getting to the end where like it's revealed how everything goes down in the end because it is told by this perspective of death. I got angry and went through like a box of tissues crying and threw the book across the room and then panicked because I was like, oh my God, that's a library copy. What if I damaged it? I have a wonderful friend named Melanie who got me the special anniversary edition. And I also have the movie cover. And then I have the original copy. And then my favorite series, as my name channel kind of suggests, Outlander. Again, I want to point that out. I was there before all the hype. So I'm collecting them. So I have the first 3 so far. In the US, they have hardcover copies of Outlander. We don't have them in Canada. I've never seen them in a bookstore here. So I have all of them but An Echo in the Bone now in hardcover. And I thought this was pretty cool too. This one I got off Book Outlet, and it is signed by her, which I was really excited about that. And again, my wonderful friend Melanie. I don't even know if there's a reason. I think she's just a wonderful human being. But this is the 20th anniversary special edition, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So Thanks again to Melanie. I think the last few questions that I had here, one of them was, do you have a book boyfriend or girlfriend? Hi, my name is Sam. The site or the channel is called Sassenach the Book Wizard, so of course I have a book boyfriend. His name is Jamie Fraser. I also do definitely have a book girlfriend. Her name is Alasa, and she's from Daughter of the Pirate King, and she is the sassiest pirate, female Jack Sparrow. It was like the Gilmore Girls on a ship. Who is your favorite Harry Potter character? Luna. Definitely Luna. She is the weirdest person, and that's just who I like to hang out with. If I was in that situation, Harry and Hermione and them could be doing their own thing. I love Hermione. I would be hanging out with Luna. She's quirky and weird, and I don't know what the heck is going on in her brain, but I just want to be around her. And the last, well, it wasn't really a question. It's just more of a thing of like link up. So I'm going to put all of the links into the description there. I have a blog that I post my views on. I also have a Litsy account that I'm extremely active on, and I'm really active on there at the handle Sassenach the Book Wizard. I also have an Instagram, Sassenach the Book Wizard. Thanks for watching.